Okay, a little over maybe a week or so ago, I heard about this product. This is the Fractal AM4, and this is Fractal's, I think, most affordable unit. It's got four blocks in there, 4 switches. It's essentially like the VP4, but with amp modeling in there, and a little bit of a pared back list of effects. Discard. So AM gig rig. So we've got a twin. If I tap that amp block, current channel in amp mode. So to get to amp mode, so I've got each of the 4 foot switches in amp mode, is 2 and 3 together. So I'm now in amp mode. Boost on or off. Okay, if I go to AC, so this is now my AC 30. Tap it. Boost off. Okay, now jumped plexi. This is now the JP, so we're in amp mode. Is this? Also notice that we're kind of gapless there, right? Okay, so in terms of what's actually included here, essentially all of the amps, but some of these are condensed. So although it looks like 247, if I go into here, switches in here. So like what would have been 3 amp models is now condensed into 2 where that's appropriate. Let's see what deluxe reverb, vibrato. So not all of them are condensed in that way, but some of them will be. So that's why it looks like there's less amps than you might have in Fractal. The other thing that I really like about this, if you were to make your own preset, is that as you build, so this is what we've got to work with as well. This is a pretty fully featured unit. Amp, so if we pull together deluxe reverb vibrato, for example, as we edit here, the cab is now actually built in and it will select an appropriate cab for you. So it's really quite quick to build this stuff. So if we go to reverb, drop a reverb down there, say, I don't know, Hall Marble. You know, like phaser, rotary, trem, we know from experience that these Fractal things are very, very good. That's a gate, but you've also got a gate here on the front, which you can turn off if you prefer. You've got an LFO controller as well, which is pretty bonkers. So you can control loads of different elements, or any parameter essentially, with the LFOs as well. If I go into, like, we've got 4 amp channels per block. If I go to B and select Brit 800, you'll see that this essentially will choose an appropriate cab as well. Which just makes building all of this stuff actually remarkably quick. Okay, and that's just 2 blocks that I'm using up there. So, you know, if you wanted delay in there, then absolutely. We've got a full... If you feel like, oh, well, I want all of my normal Fractal stuff, Expert Edit is the place for you. It's kind of very, very, very interesting. If you move your amp up to the front, and then you could have your modulation post, so we could do some 80s type stuff if you wanted to. Do we have a pitch block here? So there is a pitch block is not here. Pitch block, looper, there isn't a looper here either. So there's not everything from your Fractal space, but you know, enough of it that I think you can make some really, really, really interesting tones. I'm quite enthusiastic about this idea. What it means is that this stuff is more accessible than a Fractal stuff has ever been. I don't know, I'm really happy that this exists as a thing for guys that are trying to get into the Fractal space to check out. There's a waiting list for G66 and G66 UK and Fractal Audio. Go check it out. Cheers for stopping by. From a couple of points of view, right? And check out some of the stuff you can do, like Leon Todd. Play higher equals more wet. Pan delay, let's check this out. It's doing the same thing. Cloud verb, what does this do? Like a lot of the amazing things from Fractal, but put in this ever so small unit, and I think if you wanted to do some of these bits and pieces, you've got enough tools in here. If I wanted to put together a clean part of this, C, we'll go for twin. What would that be? Double, it's called, isn't it? Double verb. Normal. Turn on this. Okay. Or we could go for yeah, very, 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 very cool stuff, in my opinion. And you've got a bunch of great factory presets that are going to be straight ready to record with. Middle buttons I can press, and then I can get my boost. There is the boost level. We've also got a room section in there as well. So cool. So there's a waiting list for G66 and G66 UK and Fractal Audio. Go check it out. Cheers for stopping by.